Welcome in, everyone. Welcome to the 12 Talk preview podcast of game one of the season. The season is here, Mitch. It's here. It took its sweet, sweet time, and we get to open against the 49ers. I can't wait, mate. I really can't wait. This is literally occurring just over an hour before kickoff. So we're going to be going through things like the latest news. We'll be talking about the players that aren't going to be appearing tonight. We're going to be talking about some players to watch, some online buzz. There's going to be things like who we think may be the first scorer as well. There's been a lot of interaction online, so I'm going to be going through that and seeing who the overall winner is. And then we're going to get through to your comments. So if you are watching, give us a shout out. We're also going to be letting you guys sort of let us know what your thoughts are. We're putting them on the screen throughout the pod, and we'll definitely be discussing a lot of things at the end. But firstly, let's get to this intro. There you go. A little bit of a revamp. Absolutely love it. Turn it up to 12, everyone. The 12 Talk podcast is here. We're going to be talking all about this game today, and we are so excited. Mitch, how excited are you, dude?
I'm really excited. I can't wait. I think it's really cool to start the season off against the Niners at home. I think that's starting at home is exciting. Starting at home against the Niners, ooh, spicy.
Honestly,
love that.
What a great first game. We've got so many things that we need to talk about with this, and we don't want to spend too long doing it because everyone's getting prepared for what's going to be an amazing first game of football for the Seahawks. If you are in and you're in the comments, by all means, let us know how you're feeling. Mitch is keeping an eye on them. And also, just in case you are new to the channel, by all means, feel free, like and subscribe to this channel. You know, every new like and subscribe we get really helps us reach more 12s, which then means that more 12s have the opportunity to come on to here to review games. And we've got our first guest 12 coming on, who will be on Monday with us for our pod for the review of the game. And that's Green Hawk. Some of you may have seen him. He's all over TikTok. He's a fantastic Seahawks fan out there in the States, in Seattle, and he's going to be absolutely amazing. And after this pod, if you've got nowhere to go, if you're watching the game on your Jack Jones, jump in our Discord. We are hosting a watch party. And these watch parties are amazing. I don't want to toot our own horn. Mitch, or your horn as the king of the Discord. But they're a great time. Everyone that's in there gets involved. We are on a voice chat or just a text chat. It's so good. But shall we, first of all, get into this? The latest bits of news, some online news, if we will. There was a bit of to in and fro in about, will Christian McCaffrey play? The Seahawks saying, no, he won't. He's injured. He had another calf thing. And weirdly enough, he's fit to play tonight.
Yeah, we'll have prepared all week for him to be playing. It's not. Yeah. We would never have just removed him from the game plan defensively. So we won't have been naive. But I think the fans hoped that perhaps we'd be playing a McCaffrey-less Niners team, but no. Or as he's been affectionately been named, Christian McCalf injury.
So. It's Christian everything injury. I feel
True.
Part of me, even though he's a 49ers player, I feel a bit bad for him because it's just one thing after another. You know, it's like a bit like Chenna as well. Chenna has had, he had a lower body, then he had his pectoral, and it's just like a rolling sort of like carousel of injuries. But who knows how long he's going to last? Is it a matter of he did have a bad calf, they're putting him in, but it's just to see what happens? And then backup running backs, and let's see if this D-line can really hold up with the introduction of DeMarcus Lawrence. That should be our run stuffing sorted. So, Mitch, you've got a nice little list for anyone who isn't aware of who is and isn't playing today. So, who is out of this team for today, Mitch, and who's been put in?
So we've got two wide receivers not suiting up today. We've got Jake Bobo not playing due to the concussion he received while returning, I think, against the Packers. I think looking at it, he'd probably be out of the protocol this week and probably active next week, but Bobo won't play. We've got Tariq Young inactive as well. So that's two wide receivers not in there. Linebacker wise, we've got three. We've got Chenna Nwosu not suiting up today. We've got Jared Ivey and Connor O'Toole. All three were kind of excited to see play and for different reasons, but neither of those will play. And we had a couple of others as well who are slipping my memory. Mason Richmond and Nick Callerup. Mm-hmm. So Richmond has been carrying an injury, so that one's not a surprise. I'm not sure about Callerup. I think possibly he's been dropped to facilitate one of the players coming up from the practice squad today. Those two players coming up are Quinton Bohanna, so the nose tackle option there for us on our D-line, and the other one was Shaq Griffin. So we've got extra depth at cornerback. So you'd imagine that there are two players on that inactive list that made way for those two call-ups, but we'll see.
Yeah, two sacrificial lambs, unfortunately. I mean, I think when you carry the depth of tight end that we do at the moment, I think you can forego, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Shaq Griffin back in a Seahawks jersey playing at Lumen, because just the two of them, the brothers, I thought they were absolutely brilliant. It's unfortunate that Shaq got more money going to the Jags and didn't want to stay with us, which, short career as a football player, we've said this, it's understandable, but he has come back. And there's obviously been a lot of movement and churn within the practice squad. So before we go further, I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Flying V, Vintage Sports Clothing. If you don't know Flying V, they've been sponsoring us for the last few weeks. They are a fantastic vintage sports clothing. They're UK based. You can find them on Shopify. The link is down below. They are making a concerted effort now to get as many Seahawks or Seattle sports based pieces of clothing as they can. I've recently just bought the Seahawks jogging bottoms. They're very comfy and they are brand new. They're amazing. I was wearing them all yesterday. It was a bit too hot to be wearing them, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to do it anyway. And there's a couple of pieces, but if you do want to go on there, then not only are they sponsoring the pod, but they've also given us a discount code. When you get to checkout, if you put 12 Talk in there at checkout, you get 20% off your order. And there is so much stuff on there, and he's constantly getting more. So go check them out. Even if you don't buy something, it's always worth bookmarking it, having a look, and then help support Flying V. Yep. So shall we just very quickly give our opinions on players to watch? And if you're in the comments and you've got a player that you want to watch, or you want everyone to watch, by all means, put it in there. As you can see, your comments are coming up down here, but we're also going to be discussing them at the end as well, and maybe during this segment. So, Mitch, kick us off. Let's do 3 each.
Okay. Can I just call out a room here? Because there's two players. I think I'm going to talk running back. I just think with three rookies starting on the D line for the Niners today, we're expected to be 3 rookies who have never played an NFL snap, combined with a new offensive line scheme at our side battling with them, a new run game, a new offensive coordinator, and looking at the success that the backup running backs had behind this O-line in training camp and in preseason. What happens when you put Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet in those situations we saw the backup guys in? So the running back, the running back starting duo, we share the 1A, 1B with Ken Walker and Zach Charbonnet. That could be fireworks. Just the moons are aligning for where they might be a little bit less effective than usual and where we might just be a little bit sharper.
Yeah, I like that. You've taken one of mine as well. I was going to shout out Charbonnet. I'm going to, do you know who I'm going to shout out? One of our new off-season additions on the D-line, DeMarcus Lawrence. I would be keeping an eye on him, especially with Christian McCaffrey back in, because DeMarcus Lawrence has, at the start of his career, he made waves by getting to the quarterback, but as he's slowed down, I'll say that in inverted commas because he's still faster than I'd ever be in his older age, in his 30s. Oh God, what an old man! I think having him in there and he's now adjusted his game just to be a premier run stopper in the NFL. He sets the edge really well. He penetrates and gets tackles for loss. I'm going to be watching him like a hawk today because I'm so excited to see what this D line looks like with him.
Yeah, that's a great shout because that's a player that we were excited about adding to the roster, but we saw nothing of in preseason at all. So he's still such an enigma on, for game day. That's a really good shout. I love that.
Who's your next one?
Torrey Horton, getting that one in early. What role? What role does Torrey Horton play in our wide receiver room with Cooper Kupp and JSN? And Cooper Kupp could well have been another one to put on this list as well. He may well be for you, but I think with a clear wide receiver 1 and 2 or 1A, 1B, similar to our running back room with JSN, Cooper Kupp, where does Horton line up? How often does he line up? Is he just running go routes all the time? Is he just field stretching? Or do they mesh him in? Because in preseason we saw him in those slot situations, in the sort of positions we'll see JSN and Cooper Kupp in. So does he look like he's starting outside, and then you end up with Kupp spinning out or JSN getting out wide? And do we see Torrey Horton, in the slot? How often and how do we use him? That's going to be fascinating for me.
I know you've been excited about him since we drafted him. He was one of your little draft crushes, and based on what we saw throughout the preseason, I can completely see why. I think that guy is just, I think he could be something special, even in his rookie year, because when you, and I won't mention Kupp, but I think when you have players like JSN and Kupp on your roster, they account for so much defensively, which is going to free up people like Horton. And I cannot wait. I was going to mention a tight end, but I have a feeling he might be one of yours as well. Yannick, I want a bingo for week 2. And Mitch mentioning Horton.
Every week. Every week from now.
That's it. Player to watch. That's it. I don't know who my second one's going to be, though. I keep looking at defense and I'm like, who could it be? But you're going to mention one of 2 people that are rookies, I feel. And I don't want to take them away from you. Okay. So,
well, I've only got one left, so whichever one you take, I'll do the other. And I know which one you're gonna think I'm doing.
Okay, well, I'm going to mention Nicky Mamwari. Sorry, sure. Mate. Sorry. Look, this is like I'm doing defense, you're doing offense. But I think with the vets that we've got at safety in Love, who I think is fantastic, one of the best safeties in the NFL, Bryant, who's in a contract year, who I think is just going to try and play the lights out this year as well. I think having him and Worry in there to be a movable chess piece, and Mike Mack said he doesn't want to take the player or what he does well away from anyone just by over scheming them. I think we'll see Eamon Worry like deep in the secondary. I think we'll see him lurking around with the linebackers in the middle of that defensive field. I also think we're probably going to see some pass rushes from him. And if we do, that is exciting because that guy's got so much burst and so much power that he could be a game wrecker wherever you put him. And I'm so excited to see him. Sorry if I took your one then, Mitch. But go on.
You did. Nick. You talk about the one that I really wanted to talk about, but that's fine. I think it's just fascinating to see where he fits and how many different positions we end up using him in. I never liked the term positionless defensive weapon. Like, I don't. it typically just hasn't worked, and especially when it's a rookie going into that scenario. I think sometimes with defensive players where they've started in one position and then throughout their career they'd be moved around based on their, what's left of their physicality and what they can still do. Starting a player out at peak physical power, moving him around, for me doesn't make an awful lot of sense unless it is explicitly for that first year. Sorry, specifically for that first year, in order to get them used to the speed of the game and making reads and communicating things. And there's benefit to it. I just don't like to see it with someone so talented. I kind of want him to just nail a position down early and then see him just specialize there. But you're right. There's no reason that a safety can't be in a blitz package, can't be rushed off the edge, can't be disguised into little gaps here and there. And whether he's good at actually getting to the quarterback is another thing. Like, he's going to have to beat seasoned NFL linemen to get there. But I still think the speed at which he gets to those positions is going to cause pressure regardless. And it's something for teams to have to factor in if we do that. So. Excited to see how we utilize his strengths.
Agreed. Who's your last one, man?
The low-hanging fruit is Gray Zabel. But actually, I'm going to go Anthony Bradford. I think...
Oh, cheeky.
I just think Anthony Bradford has worked so hard to get into this position. If you'd have told me 4 months ago that Anthony Bradford would be starting at right guard for the Seahawks this year, I probably would have smashed something. With all the effort to improve our O-line, seeing someone come back that had clearly been the square peg in the round hole, the really awkward, sort of difficult piece on that line, I wouldn't have been happy about it. But we've seen the transformation he's made in order to fit the new system. And I think it's amazing that the players that didn't have to adjust their physical shape and size and athleticism to fit the system, they only had to focus on technique and the new plays. He's had to focus on that as well as transforming himself, and he's still made the cut for the most competitively sort of fought after spot on the roster. So how does that look? How much improved is he? How suitable is he?
Can I just say something about Bradford and everything that's been said about the fact he's transformed his body? He's just got fit. Anyone who goes, he's transformed his body. He's not. He's gone into the gym and he's started running. That he's focused on his diet. He's not just gone, I'm a big guy, I can do what I want with people. Because now he's realized in year 3, he's like, oh God, I best actually do some fizz. I best eat right. I best get in the gym. I best drop some weight and put some good weight on. And a fair play to him. He has done that at the perfect opportunity when that right guard spot was up for grabs. But for anyone who makes these big things about him going, he's transformed his body. No.
Mitch, I disagree with you so hard.
Mitch, you used to be a personal trainer, mate. So
I used to do conditioning for sports, but the thing is, NFL linemen are very different athletes to almost any other sport in the world, probably barring sumo wrestling. Because sumo wrestlers, you look at them and sometimes you go, they're just a fat person. Actually, when you actually try and move them, they are absolutely jacked. They are absolutely jacked, but they have weight in the right places so they can drop anchor and meet. They can absorb impact without injuring themselves. They've got all the weight in the right places to stay balanced, performing the kind of actions they have to perform. Anthony Bradford was fit for purpose in some schemes. He was not fit for this system. So staying approximately at the same weight while moving where that weight was required an awful lot of, because you can't choose. You can choose where you put muscle mass on. You can't choose where you lose fat weight from. You can't choose where you gain fat weight. So I know, yes, there'll be some more.
It made me feel so much better about my belly now. I can't choose to lose that. It's just that's where it goes.
It's not your fault. You can have bigger pecs to make it look smaller by proportion. But But no, I just think that the level of effort and dedication that's had to be put in from his end, on top of learning a new offensive scheme and everything else, other people that he competed against had less to do, is what I'm saying. So I'm excited to see what he looks like in here, and that's funnier to me because I feared this situation at the beginning of the off season. I'm actually looking forward to it now.
Yeah.
That's quite a big swing.
It is, and obviously the O-line is something that we've spoken about at length. I think every other Seahawks podcaster and fan has. Quickly from Chris, hopefully Bradford can keep his back from becoming an issue. Let's
Nothing like getting a bit of cardio in to help you with back problems, eh, Josh?
All right, mate. Dig that in and twist it. Yeah, I think it's weird. This is the first season in an awfully long time where I am actually excited about seeing how our O-line plays. Not like squeaky bum, oh my God, are we going to be able to do something? Like, I think we've actually got a functional O-line that can help us win games. And Bradford could be a key component to that. It's just weird. It's such an odd feeling. I don't know if anyone else feels it as well, but I'm oddly looking forward to seeing how they do. When you see how the starting O-line did against the Chiefs, they were superb.
They were. He was unrecognizable and probably has got us disproportionately excited for something that will probably be middling to terrible. But we'll see. We'll see how it looks.
Cheers, mate. yeah. You just throw water on that fire. Yeah. So Bradford, you know what? I didn't anticipate you saying that one. I am going to, if we're talking O-line and we're talking how this team has changed in its philosophy, I'm going to shout out my boy because I've got a platform to do it. Robbie Oots. Watch him. Watch him in the run game as a blocker. Watch him in the pass game as well as an extra option. You look at how the 49ers use Kyle Juszczyk. There you go. Rich Oots is to absolutely flatten someone K9 to do one of his mesmerising runs for long yardage, and Torrey Horton TD. Oh, big shouts then, big shouts. We'll discuss that at the end of the pod, and obviously in the Discord later. But I'm looking forward to seeing how Oots does. Obviously, he was a tight end in college, so we know he's got hands. We know he's more than capable of running a route and catching a ball. But the physicality he's brought every time he's been on the field, I've absolutely loved. And as someone who was a big boy in rugby, loves to see big boy football, big boy contact sports, Oots has got that big boy contact mentality where he just wants to run through people and he wants to bully them as a fullback. You saw what he did to Max Crosby, one of the best edge rushers in the league. And I don't think Crosby expected it. I think there'll be a lot of rushers that won't expect Oops to put them down and pancake them or walk them back for 6 yards. So he's mine. You get to shout out Torrey Horton. I get to shout out my boy Robbie Oots.
Love that. Yeah, no, that's a cool one. I mean, everyone wants to see Oots do well. It's exciting. It's exciting to have a fullback on the roster again. Especially one that looks like he does the football fundamentals so well. I think everything you get on top of that from a fullback is just a bonus. We went so long having Nick Ballore as that piece on our roster, but I don't think he was ever the league's best fullback. He was always one of the league's best special teamers, but he was always versatile, good leader,
Jack of all trades.
Multiplicity of being able to do lots of things. This is a fullback who is just going to destroy people. He's going to keep your quarterback upright. He's going to be an option in the passing game. He's going to be an option. He's an option in the running game, and he's going to be an outstanding blocker as well. So that's a fantastic piece that we've added.
I'm so excited. Like I said, I don't buy player jerseys very often unless they're retired, but he is there. If I hadn't just bought my Cam Chancellor throwback jersey, I might have invested in a Robbie Oots jersey. But shall we get on to first scorer?
Yeah, let's do that.
Or do you want to do any honourable mentions for who else we could watch? Obviously, Sam Darnold is very low-hanging fruit. But
Yeah, I'm going to come to that after. Actually, I'm going to
Excellent.
talk about three talking points and things to look out for just within the game as well, and Donald's going to feature in that. So
Perfect.
we can come
So
back to that. But no, I'm good. I mean, and we don't want to confuse everyone by telling them to look out for all 53 players at all times.
yeah, just look up for the whole
for
team.
both teams.
Just watch the game. But for any of you who are new, if you don't know, we are the official podcast of UK Seahawkers. You can become a UK Seahawker for £12 for an individual membership or £20 for a family of four at the same address. If you're outside the UK, it's £5 per membership for postage of the goodies you get. I'm currently rocking 2 of the patches we've had historically on my jersey. And we'll show you the latest one very shortly. But with this membership, you get 10% off at the Pro Shop. You get access to potential game day field passes. You get members-only competitions. You get meetups as well, and you also get your goodies this year displayed on Mitch's fabulous box. We got a 21-year anniversary patch. We got 2 coasters, our wristband, and you get your membership card as well. And then you also get the opportunity to come and meet us and fine folk like this at the next meetup. This was at Glasgow, and we had a great time interviewing these guys and just having a drink and talking Hawks. Fantastic. So, first scorer. For any of you who follows us on social media, if you don't, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok. We've got a Facebook group, and we're on X. I put a little video out on all of them, basically, just asking who was going to be the first scorer today. And there was a mixed bag of results. So I think we've had a few comments as well come in who's going to be the first scorer. But the overriding one, weirdly, has been Elijah Arroyo. I think he had about 5 people who messaged me saying Arroyo. We had 2 for Torrey Horton, 3 for K9. We had 1 for Charbonnet. We had 1 for Cooper Cup and 1 for JSN. And that was it. But Elijah Arroyo, it seems 12s are so excited to see him and hope he does big things. What are your thoughts on that, Mitch? Mitch is unsure.
It's an interesting one to see only a single shout. Sorry, internet's got a bit choppy.
That's right.
Cooper Cup, one vote. JSM, 1 vote is interesting because they're obviously the premium wide receivers. But are they the red zone targets that we'll use, extensively? Will we try and punch it in with the running backs we've got with the new offensive line? Perhaps Ken Walker or Zach Charbonnet should be the favourites.
Mm-hmm.
But then maybe it's a deep shot to Torrey Horton. Maybe it's Elijah Arroyo being, left unmanned and showing his freaky athleticism and getting home. So it depends how you feel. If you think that we're going to be methodical and efficient, then perhaps a running back makes sense. If you think that we're going to rely upon working underneath and then someone getting free, for a deep shot, maybe Arroyo or Horton make more sense. So
AJ Barner as well. I think we have 1 for AJ Barner. I forgot we did have 2 for Oots, and Yannick has just put in there first TD by Oots so Lumen can go wild. Yes,
love that.
And then should we have a look at who else we've got for first TD? So Danny Wood, Zach Charbonnet, first TD.
Yeah.
Who else?
Leonard Williams with a pick 6. That's the 12 Talk podcast bringing you hot takes in the extreme right now.
I was going to say, yeah. We've got Richards come in with K9 first TD for Clint's running game extraordinaire. That'd be great. To be honest, anyone I'd be happy to see. Who else have we got? I think Danny's come in with some more predictions, but we'll go to them later. And has anyone else got any other first for TDs? No, if you have, pop them in the chat. I'd love to see a 1 yard line fullback just bulldoze over. I'd love that. But Mitch, who do you think the first one's going to be? Obviously, you put one in there, but realistically, who are you thinking?
I want to see Arroyo for the first one, but for the sake of this team and what we're going to do this year, I want JSN.
Yeah,
I want JSN to set the scene for what's I think is going to be a really good year at home in front of the 12s against the 49ers. I want to see a clinic from JSN, and I want him to see him set the tone early with a touchdown. I think that's the thing. That or Kenny Walker. Ken Walker or JSN get that first touchdown for us today in front of the 12s, first game of the season. I think that sets a great tone.
Yeah. Danny's sticking with his Zach Charbonnet first TD that he put on Instagram. Thank you for following on Instagram, Danny. Do you know, I would love to see Cooper Kupp score.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I'd love him to open his account at Lumen on the first day of the season and just show that he's still got it. Absolutely love that. I think it's obviously there's been a lot said about Kupp, about, you know, he's lost a step. That's the reason why the Rams didn't want to pay him and rah. But you look at what he's built with the wide receiver room as a veteran there, the camaraderie he's got with JSN, the reports in training camp that he and Darnold have really linked up well. I'd love to see Cooper Kupp score. And I'm not shy about saying that. I loved Cooper Kupp with the Rams. I thought he was one of those players that no one expected a lot of, because he's the shorter, perceived slower guy in the wide receiver room, but the way he runs his routes is so crisp, and his yards after catch, I think he excels at. And we say this every year. We said it with DK, with all the other wide receivers being able to open up for him. But I genuinely think with the short and intermediate routes, with the wide receivers we've got, they're going to be able to open it up for all of them. And I think Kupp is going to be a huge component to that attack. And I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. I think we've got enough players on that offense to win this game for us. It's just interesting to see which one of them in this system benefits the most. I think there are some players in this system that could really just add 25% to their game just off being such a good fit for it. There are players in there that might just suit Darnold's play to Geno's as well. And there are players in this offense that are really going to benefit from what looks to be an improved O-line. So how does it all shake out? Fascinating.
It is. It's going to be just. It's just going to be so. We've said, and we'll put it back on here. The first game of the season, we think this is a 3-year rebuild with Mike Mack, where year one was him just taking the players from the Pete Carroll era and having to do what he could with them. Year two, he's able to bring in his own people, draft his own people, and then really start getting the game plan going. He's now got a whole new coaching staff as well on the offense that he can hopefully get them to play the game he wants. And then if we get a playoff run here, perfect. But I think year three is where we really start to see it come together. Because after this year, we're going to see if players like Bradford work, or we need to go out and get someone else. If there are other players on this team that may be surplus to requirements, obviously you've got your players like Boye Mafe, who's up for a contract renewal. If he doesn't have a season this season, will we just say, we'll offer you this, but that's it, go and test the market? But this is just an exciting season to see what's going to happen now with what should be a functional offense with teams that with players that Mike Mack's be able to bring into the squad, and then to see what we can do, especially with this defense kicking on from being top 5 at the end of last season.
Yeah, I like it.
And with that, shall we get to some of the comments, Mitch?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's get into some of those. There's some good ones.
There always is. And again, thanks so much to everyone for joining. If you haven't already, by all means, like this video, please, whilst we're live. That'd be amazing, because all the likes really get us more traction with the algorithm, so we can reach more people, and then we can have more people join the Discord and talk Hawks with us in the comments, and then we can have more people come on as well. If you want to come on and do a game review, by all means, our schedule is now open. Hit us up, sign into our DMs, either mine or Mitch's or one of our social medias, and we'll get you in for a game as well to review. So Julie, we met Julie in Glasgow, an absolute darling. Week 1 is here. Go Hawks. Yes, Julie. I'm just so excited. It seems like that off season seems to drag so much, but when it's finished, you're like, oh, it wasn't that long. It's like a couple of sleeps.
A couple of sleeps.
Well,
Danny's excited. He's excited for a spoon int, a Murphy sack, a Zach touchdown, and an Oots pancake. Give me all of those in the first quarter.
Honestly, like, Mitch, what are your thoughts on that? Bring that back up and go through it one by one, because we've got 10 minutes till we start getting back. Start getting to the Discord.
I mean, a Spoon interception's cool. We don't see too many interceptions from Spoon. We see lots of tackles for loss. We see him in the pass rush. We see him with lots of flashy pass breakups, with him breaking on the ball late and sort of baiting the ball to go his direction and then capitalizing. So an interception from him would be a really good tone setter. A Murphy sack we'd all love to see. I mean, we were all hoping for Murphy to kick on this year. We saw him utilize too much at nose last year. That really stifled his contribution through stats. I think he still contributed massively as a disruptor in the middle of that line and creating pressure, but we didn't get much in terms of the splashy plays that we hoped for. So hopefully, I mean, if he started this year with a sack, we'd love it.
Yeah,
a Zach touchdown would be interesting. Zach touchdown would be interesting because that's not necessarily everyone's favorite running back on our roster, but I think he's probably now the most suitable to the scheme. So will we see him bulldoze his way in for a touchdown? Interesting. And an Oots pancake's just going to get the Seahawks fans just absolutely roaring in Lumen, right? Everyone would love to see Oots just planting people into the turf.
I just want it to become a cult hero.
So
I
think that's a cool
ring it around Lumen.
I think he will.
So many songs. Oots upside your head. You know, there's loads you can do.
Let's not. Oh God, let's not. So Chris Rude from our Discord, big fan of the show. We met him again in Glasgow. He wants the defense to hold the San Fran 49ers to 13 points or less overall. That's a big ask. But I think we'd love to see it. Is it possible, Josh? You think holding them to 13 or less with the wide receiver issues they've got?
Do you know what? Based on the roster churn, the fact that I never want to take anything away from Shanahan because he is a great coach and he's schematically he's fantastic and always finds a way to unpick us. But when you look at the offensively, CMC is in, but for how long? They've got George Kittle. Brock Purdy's got to throw to someone else. Ayuk's out. I think is Pearsall starting. MVS is in there as well.
Starting. Juwan Jennings.
You know, I'd love to see us hold them to that, but again, first game of the year, new pieces put into this defense as well. I'd love to see him kick on from last season, but yeah, I'd love to see it, but you know what? I think it'd probably be closer than we all want to see. With the Seahawks to win. Just put it out there.
I mean, I think we're going to win this game. I'm really hoping we win this game and get off to a great start.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be very competitive.
Yeah.
But that is what we expect, and that's what we hope for with all games. So this is an interesting one. Good talking point. More turnovers for the Hawks.
Yes, Max.
I think
100%.
I think that's a key part of our kick on this year defensively, because we ended up being very good last year defensively. We did lack massively in turnovers through interceptions and fumbles last year. So, or more so in terms of interceptions and fumbles, but overall we turned over the ball nowhere near as much as we should have done, in my opinion. This is a great shout.
We create, and we should create even more pressure this year, which should hopefully lead to more interceptions. But it's something that's eluded us for a few seasons. I mean, you had the Spoon rookie season where every ball that seemed to go his way, there was a potential for an interception. But since that, they've been few and far between. But hopefully with the pressure of the new D-line we've got, that will cause some panic from quarterbacks, and then the secondary can do their business. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice little nugget here from Richard. The bookend O-lineman disrupting Bosa. Yeah. I think playing the 49ers with both of our first choice tackles, especially when so much of their power on defense comes off the edge, I think that's a really good scenario for us. Our O-line versus their D-line. Their D-line is going to be very fresh and new. Our O-line looks fit for purpose and is at its strongest in the areas where it will need to be. So that's a great shout from Rich.
Yeah, I like that. I'd love to see Abe Lucas just plant Bosa. Just pancake him and be like, I've got a new contract. This is me now for at least 3 years, 4 years now. Enjoy this. And then watch Bosa, tail between his legs, go to Charles Cross, and Charles Cross just moved too quickly for him to do anything. That'd be lovely.
Absolutely. With those sweet feet that he's got.
Yeah,
I was going to put this one back up. Chris has agreed. This is regarding his comment about holding the Niners to 13 points. He agrees, but he asks what we want to see. Well, yeah, it's a fantasy prediction for sure, Chris. And we all want to see it. I just want to know whether there's a slight chance. So you're saying there's a chance? That's where I am with it. I want to see it happen. Not berating your choice of comment at all.
Yeah, we got any more, Mitch?
Let's have a look. We've got Gary wading in, big fan of the show and huge favourite with us. Finally, pontificating.
Finally,
What a word, Gary.
Pontificating. Oh, it's like this is an experienced man. Look at that. What a word.
You'd never know he came from the East End of London, would you, with words like that? Predicting it, etc. It's over and reality is here at last. So yeah, he's right. Off-season draws to an end. Our slog for content is over. We can actually pre-game show, post-game show, we can do all of that now, and we will be discussing facts rather than hyperbole, which is a word you often like to use.
Yes, I love that word.
Yes, I know. But yeah, Gary is now laughing at me for my pronunciation of his word. So yeah, welcome to the show in the comments section, Gary. There you go. And Justin Fields just got a touchdown.
There's always a chance.
Proves there's always a chance.
That's it. Right. Any more comments before we get ourselves ready to get in the Discord?
I'm gonna check one more in from Gary. Actually, I love this. He's happy that Christian McCaffrey or Christian McCaff injury is playing because there's one less excuse when we beat them. There's not going to be any. Oh, Christian McCaffrey wasn't playing. That's why you beat us. No, if we win today, it is a Christian McCaffrey version of the 49ers, and then have to start talking about Debo or something, I guess. But yeah.
Who's actually, when I was watching Red Zone earlier, he actually looked all right for the Commanders. Caught a lovely ball over the middle from
until he does his Forrest Gump impression, and with the braces falling off the legs and like just bits of him coming off as he breaks into a sprint. Yeah.
But anyway, with that, we're gonna finish this pod. I want to say thanks to everyone for joining us in the comments. You can find us after this in the Discord for the watch party of the game. Mitch and I will both be in there. Most people in the comments are going to be in there. Hopefully there'll be more people joining us as well. We can have a good old chat. We can always talk about what's going on. If you don't want to talk on voice, get in the texting bit as well. That's what we're all here for. And if you could do us a massive favor, like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell for the channel as well. Share it with your friends if they're Seahawks fans. And if you want to come on, drop us a message. And don't forget our sponsors, Flying V. Go check them out. Use code 12TALK at checkout and get 20% off your order. 20%. Mitch and I will be back on this podcast on Monday with our special guest, a new guest, Green Hawk. So come and join us there. We'll all be up on social media. We'll be going live at 9 p.m. UK time, which is 1 p.m. Pacific time. You guys can come and ask us questions. Tell us how you thought it went. If you are hyped and you're still pumped with the adrenaline flowing, get in the comments. But until then, turn it up to 12. I've been Josh. This has been Mitch. We are the 12 Talk podcast, and we're going to end this with a massive Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.